You're watching FARC Racing on OEN, the home of Wow, did that really just happen? FARC Racing on OEN is brought to you by Smash Beer, the only beer with the better taste, coming back up. And by Fernando's Chicken, made fresh, faster than you. A little more than a week ago, 153 teams packed the infield here at the Texas World Speedway, and little by little, they were filtered out through the alphabet soup of qualifying races until we ended up with 41 of the best, and the wealthiest, on the grid for this, the Smash Beer 500, the first race of the FARC Elite Series powered by Smash Beer. We will now go through the starting grid from the back to the front. Starting 41st in the battle start, number 76, Fatherland Vodka Isani, everybody's favorite Russian, Yevgeny Kuznetsov. After crashing that car in the first B main, Rus Autosport bought Dan Edwards' spot in the 500 for him, and well, it's a miracle they even got that car running. Starting in 40th in the number 61 Tiffany Blue Star will be Ryan Matthews, who swapped out with Lucy Barnton, and so he was sent to the rear. Starting 39th in the number 30 Delano Cola Leonard will be Dylan Andrew, one of two Australians in the field. Andrew crashed in the first B main just like Yevgeny Kuznetsov, but he placed high enough to make it into the race anyway. He will be starting in the rear after going to a backup car. Starting 38th, driving the number 147 Lloyd Brotherhood Inglesby, Wyatt Lloyd. He starts in the rear after purchasing Cameron Sweetwater's spot in the field. Starting 37th, driving the number 5 St. Martin Inglesby, Stacy St. Martin. She will start in the back after teammate Chris Johans gave up his spot for her. Starting 36th in the number 44 GoCo Fuels Leonard, Jeff Wilkins. Wilkins qualified for the race even after crashing out of the first B main, but he had to go to a backup car. Starting 35th in the number 41 Supercharged Energy Leonard, Zach Webster. Accelerator Motorsports put Webster in place of teammate Megan Driver, who was also sent to the rear. Starting 34th, driving the number 17 Kath Leonard, defending the FARC Elite Series powered by Smash Beer champion Joseph Howard, who was in this race after crashing on the second lap of B main number 2, but team owner Tom Delgado gave up his spot for him, even though Delgado was scheduled to start on the outside of the front row. Starting 33rd, driving the number 7 key aftermarket SAR, Bob Steffens, making his return to the series for Team Thunder. Starting 32nd, driving the number 199 Bubba's Beer Inglesby, Billy Gatton, whose only previous start in the series came in 2012. Starting 31st, driving the number Pi Motor Math SAR, Michael Madrigal, who got Math Motors' very first win at Salem last year. Starting 30th, in the number 80 Smash Beer SAR, Kyle Gaffigan, who got that Smash Beer sponsorship at the very last minute. We will bring you more on that later. Starting 29th in car number 272, the Wolf Engine Products SAR, Red Herring, making his first start in the series. Starting 28th in the number 15 EY Wheelbarrow SAR, AJ Young. Starting 27th in car number 27, the Gibson Speedy Loop Inglesby, Richard Scott. Starting 26th, driver of the number 79 Gemini Software Inglesby, Tanner Clayson. Starting 25th in the number 3 F Synthetic Oil Isani, Laura Cyrus, who is reunited with Motor Assault Racing this year. She finished 4th in the championship with them in 2012. Starting 24th in the number 36 High Gear Snowboard SAR, looking to bounce back from a scary accident in the truck race yesterday, Jeremy Baker. Starting 23rd in the number 07 Steelhawk SAR, Anthony Griffith, who is reunited with his old teammate Bob Steffens over at Team Thunder. Starting in 22nd, driving the number 136 Calhoun Racing SAR, whose designer really should have been fired because that's one of the ugliest cars I've ever seen, Michael Calhoun. Starting 21st, driving the number 64 B Magazine SAR, always a fan favorite for many different reasons, Leslie Riggs. Starting 20th in the impossible-to-miss number 717 DZ Karts Leonard, Scott Dollitz. Starting 19th, driving the number 06 Need Gone Liquidator SAR, runner-up in the 2013 FARC Regional Cup Championship, Taylor Matthews. Starting in 18th, driving the number 110 Strickland Propane Lenard, Robert Leckliter. Starting in 17th, driving the number 28 Cavanata Limoncello Lenard, Joe Olenek. Starting in 16th, driving the number 798 Sprayed Automotive Finishes Inglesby, Luke Ocean. Starting in 15th, driving the number 97 Whiplash Energy SAR, Tommy Ashby. Starting in 14th, driving the number KP16 Snake Coils Lenard, TM Master Cup Series veteran, Kurt Pliskin. Pliskin won the first B main a couple days ago, not a very popular victory after he triggered that giant wreck that took out half the field. Starting in 13th, driver of the number 10 Scrubbles Lenard, Dan Leckliter. Starting in 12th, driver of the number X2 Scilab Technology SAR, the only Mexican driver in the field, Henry Santos. Starting in 11th, driving the number 4X Race Sim SAR, one of only 2 cars with an L4 engine in the field, Wade Warren. Starting in 10th, driving the number 18J Johnson Racing Parts SAR, the only other car with an L4 engine in the field, Chuck Johnson. Starting in 9th, driver of the number 32 Competition Info News Now Lenard, Dale Underwood. Starting in 8th, driving the number 031 Cox and Dukes Racing Lenard, Jennifer Duke. Starting 7th, driving the number 78 Mar-Lyle Inglesby, Andrea Kinasa. Starting in 6th, driver of the number 43 McSwain Technical Academy Inglesby, Robert Nelson, the second of 2 Australian drivers in today's race. Starting in 5th, driving the number 67 Horse Piss Whiskey SAR, dirt racing legend and matriarch of the Riggs clan, Brenda Riggs. Starting in 4th, driver of the number 63 Zing Energy SAR, 2011 FARC Elite Series Powered by Smash Beer champion, Kevin Monroe. Starting in 3rd, driving the number 88 Thunderline Motors Inglesby, Kelly Posadas. Starting on the outside of the front row, driver of the number 83 Bitter Pills Lenard, and winner of last Sunday's Apex Racing School Rookie Shootout, Tammy Barnton. And finally, on the Mar-Lyle pole, driving the number 9 Cerno Cooling SAR, Taylor Brillin. The field is set for the 500 miles that lay ahead of them, and we at the OEN are here to bring you all of the action. The SAR Eagle MS Pace car drops to the apron, leaving the field in the hands of Taylor Brillin for the Roush Air flying start. And Brillin really starts to pull ahead, coming to the line. I already see some people trying to make it 3 wide, Robert Leckliter and Robert Nelson amongst them, but other than that, a very orderly start heading down into turn 1 as Brillin pulls away by about 8 car lengths. Kevin Monroe hits the wall on lap number 3, almost takes Chuck Johnson with him. Monroe's car not handling very well in these opening laps. He would bring it into the pits because he cut a tire after hitting the wall, and here he is going a lap down. Richard Scott and Leslie Riggs now lead the race as we see quite a bit of shuffling happening in the middle of the field. Monroe still not happy with how his car is handling, brings it back in. AJ Young in the number 15, also into the pits with a cut tire. Needless to say, it has not been a very good start for some of the M&J racing cars. And Monroe brings it into the pits for what would turn out to be the final time. Monroe parks the car on about lap 16 after the team could not diagnose his problem. You have Jenny Kuznetsov going a lap down on lap 16. The Roos Autosport 76 car not handling very well either, but that's because it was very heavily damaged in the first B main. That team worked through the night, taping that car back together. And as I said before, it was a miracle that they got that car started. They spray painted the number 76 on it, adopting Dan Edwards' number, whose spot in the field that they bought to get Kuzi into the race. And now I bet everybody wishes that that team had just gone home, because now Kuznetsov is holding several people up. Scott Dollitz has been in the wall, and he brings the 717 Lenard into the pit lane. Dollitz's performance always brings these brightly colored cars to the track, but the results have never really been that stellar. Kyle Gaffigan is up to 18th place in the number 80 Stallman SAR with the 11th Hour Smash Beer sponsorship. Jason Bates, of course, is Smash Beer's primary driver this season, but Bates crashed heavily in the qualifiers and was not cleared to race. So Pearson Sween Motorsports couldn't have Bates swap out with anybody, and Gaffigan picked up the sponsorship after making a hero of himself in the qualifiers. AJ Young, after pitting, is running very slowly. Young was very fast in the qualifiers, faster than we've ever seen him before, but obviously that team has missed something on today's setup. Richard Scott has a problem and pulls that car off the track. He was running 6th and led a few laps, but now he finds himself in a hole very early on. Joseph Howard, defending series champion, has not made up much ground since the start of the race as he finds himself battling for 25th with Red Herring. Howard, of course, is in the backup car after crashing in the second B main, and he's the only representative of Tom Delgado Racing in this race, but he isn't running too well at the moment, as Taylor Brillen now has a problem off of turn 2. The 9 car is slowing. She's holding up Jennifer Duke in the 031. We're not even at lap 30, and 3 of the 5 M&J cars have had problems. But Taylor Brillen, for whatever reason, is not bringing her car into the pits. She's running around at about 150 miles an hour, but she's still on the track. Maybe she's riding around to see if the problem will fix itself, which I highly doubt. She's just losing time unnecessarily. She's got to get that car into the pits as soon as possible. As Yevgeny Kuznetsov has blown up in the 76. I don't think anybody is surprised by this. That car was smashed up pretty badly. Really shouldn't have started at all. And Yevgeny Kuznetsov will be the second retirement in this race, as Taylor Brillen finally brings the 76. I'm not sure what she was thinking, just riding around the track. She lost about 3/4 of a lap in doing so. Lap 34, we've got some cars making pit stops. Chuck Johnson slows in front of Luke Ocean. Ocean runs into the back of him. Joel Lennick gets caught up in it. And this brings out our first Vickers collision and glass caution. Chuck Johnson seemed to swerve in front of the 798. He didn't leave Ocean with too many options. More problems for Scott Dulles as he runs into the back of Taylor Matthews coming out of his pit stall. Robert Leckliter took the lead after pit stops, but here comes Henry Santos with a big run around the outside of the 110. However, we had another Vickers collision and glass caution right after the restart due to some debris that was still on the track. The field took this opportunity to pit once again, and Andrea Canassa comes out on top this time. Dylan Andrew, car 30, has a problem. He's slowing down on the outside. Fortunately, he's able to get out of everybody's way. And now Canassa is under attack from several of the lapped cars, Taylor Brillen and Joseph Howard amongst them. Tammy Barnton, car 83, uses this as an opportunity to get around the 78 for the lead of the race. Brenda Riggs in the 67 follows through to take second. Of course, many cars running a lap down due to being trapped by that first caution as it came out in the middle of that first round of pit stops. And several others had to make unscheduled stops before that. And here we have Brenda Riggs on the inside of 83, taking advantage of Barnton washing up the track. Side by side coming to the line, and it will be Brenda Riggs just nipping Barnton at the line. After everything settles down, Leslie Riggs comes through and challenges her mother for the race lead. Dylan Andrew, car 30, back on the track after getting that problem fixed, although he's running a couple laps down. Henry Santos in the X2 SAR back up to 3rd place. Santos, I believe, is making his first start since 2011 when he ran the 150 laps of Dwyer. He's attempted a few races since then, but always failed to qualify up until this week. Joel Lennick is running well off the pace after that crash with Luke Ocean and Chuck Johnson, and he's not doing a very good job at getting out of the way. If he doesn't learn a bit of courtesy, it's going to be a very long race for some of these teams. Here's Red Herring in the 272, again making his first start, and he's amongst some of the lap cars. Contact with Kurt Pliskin. Herring up and into the wall along with several other cars, including Taylor Brillen, the pole sitter. Jennifer Duke, Bob Steffens also involved. Looking at it again, Pliskin up on the outside. He definitely comes down on the 272. Pliskin was on the lead lap. Herring was not. But even if you're on the lead lap, that doesn't mean you can go wherever you want. Cars are still solid objects, whether or not they're a lap down. The whole field pits once again. It's business as usual for Henry Santos until the crew discovers a problem on that X2 car that they could not fix, and so Henry Santos is going to have to drop out of the race. Michael Madrigal in the pie car blows up after pit stop cycle out. 2 more retirements in a row on top of the casualties from that accident. Kurt Pliskin leads on the Roush Air Flying Start. If Kurt Pliskin has actually made any friends here at Texas World this weekend, you can probably only count them on one hand. But in typical Kurt Pliskin fashion, he's brushing it all off, and he's proceeding as normal. Ryan Matthews comes up towards the front and has a shot at the lead, but then he blows up. Matthews trying to get out of the way, but cars are coming at him from all directions. This is the same thing that took him out of the qualifiers. Contact with Leslie Riggs, that could have been a big accident, and Ryan Matthews goes out of the race. Kurt Pliskin then blows up. I don't think the racing guys were going to let him get away scot-free. Kelly Posadas into the back of the KP16. Pliskin sliding down the track. He gets clobbered by AJ Young. Nowhere for Young to go but into the side of the KP16. But now Joel Lennox comes along and slams into the 15. Chuck Johnson in the 18J also involved. That wreck was just a little bit bigger than I think it should have been. Stacy St. Martin, the leader on the Roush Airlines Flying Start, but Tammy Barnton gets a big run around the outside, and now challenging St. Martin for the lead through 1 and 2. Stacy St. Martin having a very good run so far today, considering how, quite frankly, horrible her results have been in the past couple of years. Richard Scott in the 27 Inglesby up in smoke. He was running in 25th place, a couple laps down. He had a very good start to the race, then had that first mechanical problem, and it was all downhill from there. Wade Warren, car 4X, also up in smoke. Andre Canassa then goes out of the race on lap 100 from 8th place. It was a good run that the Groves team had going. They've always been good on these bigger tracks, but not today. Brenda Riggs and Tammy Barnton fight for the lead as they now encounter the slower cars of Jeff Wilkins and Dale Underwood. Barnton goes by without a problem, but Riggs and the rest of the leaders get held up by these horrendously slow-lapped cars. Jeremy Baker making his first FARC Elite Series Powered by Smash Beers start. Running in 3rd place, heads into the pit lane on lap 104. That's a few laps early for routine pit stops. I wonder if he's got a problem of some kind. Anthony Griffith and Robert Lechleiter into the pit lane at the end of lap 118. Griffith running in 6th place in his return to the series. Brenda Riggs and Robert Nelson in at the end of lap 119. And then Barnton hits the pit lane 1 lap after that. Brenda Riggs comes out in front of Tammy Barnton, but she's got a problem. It seems that she's lost power to that 67 car. She's going to limp back to the pit lane and lose a couple laps. The M&J cars are not quite done braking today. This will leave Tammy Barnton and Stacy St. Martin fighting for the lead at the halfway point of this race, lap 125. St. Martin starting her 2nd season in the series, Barnton in her first points race. Both of them are going for Rookie of the Year, and Stacy St. Martin will pull ahead of Barnton. Taylor Matthews goes up in smoke while running 17th, a lap down. The Matthews team switched to SARS this year, and I'm wondering if they're regretting that decision now. While Stacy St. Martin and Tammy Barnton have been leading this race, Dan Lechleiter, Robert Nelson, and Anthony Griffith have lined up, and they've been inching closer and closer to the leaders. In fact, they've been cutting down what was originally about a 7-second gap, and here comes Lechleiter around the 5 to take the race lead. Lechleiter has been off to a very good start in his 2nd year in the FARC Elite Series, powered by Smash Beer. Leslie Riggs, car 64, up in smoke at the end of lap 140. Big disappointment for Riggs and M&J Racing, as all 5 of their cars have now fallen out of contention. Brenda Riggs, the only one of that team's cars still in the race. Dan Lechleiter hit the pit lane on lap 154 for a scheduled stop, and when everything cycles out, he remains in the lead. Stacy St. Martin still in 2nd place. Jeremy Baker, car 36, very slow. So something's gone wrong on that 36 car, and he is now fallen by the wayside. Kyle Gaffigan in the 80, up in smoke now. Gaffigan made a hero of himself, starting from the E-mains and climbing up onto the grid. This performance caught the attention of Smash Beer, who gave Stallman Racing a small sponsorship deal after Jason Bates was not cleared to race. Dan Leckliter. Now held up by the 32 of Dale Underwood. Stacy St. Martin goes by for the lead. Here you see Dylan Andrew and Billy Gatton. They are both off the lead lap. Here we are looking at 3rd through 5th. Robert Nelson, Tammy Barnton, and Anthony Griffith. They have lined up, and they're going to try to chase down Dan Leckliter and Stacy St. Martin. Here are Robert Leckliter and Tanner Clayson, cars 110 and 79. These are the last cars on the lead lap, the battle for 6th place. Robert Leckliter holds that position at the moment. And here we have Tommy Ashby in 8th place, the first car 1 lap down, and Laura Cyrus in 9th, battling him for position. So we've got 2 position battles in this shot. Stacy St. Martin and Dan Leckliter for the race lead, and Laura Cyrus and Tommy Ashby for 8th. Stacy St. Martin has fallen a few car lengths behind Leckliter, and now car number 5, up in smoke. Stacy St. Martin is done after a stellar run that I thought we'd never see from her. She got into the race after her teammate Chris Johans gave up his spot for her, and she was making the most of that opportunity. Big disappointment for the 5 and Alley Supersports. Anthony Griffith running 5th, also up in smoke on lap 172. That is both Team Thunder cars done for the day. Bob Steffens crashed earlier on. And we were not done with cars braking, as Jeff Wilkins up in smoke. Another problem for the 44. This time it is terminal. Wilkins running many, many laps down and well off the pace. We've got a lot of cars breaking down in this short period of time. Tommy Ashby up in smoke on about lap 178. He was running in 7th place, 1 lap down. Remember that battle he had with Laura Cyrus earlier in the race. I guess Cyrus is ultimately going to win out. And now Brenda Riggs' engine grenades entering turn 1, running about 2 laps down. Robert Leckliter into the back of the 67 after getting a face full of smoke. Leckliter either caught by surprise or not paying much attention at all, but both he and Riggs are now out of the race. In the meantime, his brother Dan Leckliter leads on the Roush Air Flying Start. 65 laps to go this time by, 13 cars left in the race. Jeremy Baker very slow on the start. The 4 cars remaining on the lead lap, Leckliter, Tanner Clayson, Tammy Barnton, and Robert Nelson at the front of the field right now. Joseph Howard is running in 8th place, although he's about 2-3 laps down right now. Remember how he had a terrible start to the race? Well, the reliability of his 17 Lennard has made up for that, and his perseverance has gotten him up into the top 10. And even if he goes out of the race right now, he's guaranteed a top 15 finish, so it would be a very solid start to the year for our defending series champion. Wyatt Lloyd, car 147, is in 5th place. He is the first car 1 lap down, and he challenges our race leader, Robert Nelson, trying to get himself back onto the lead lap if he catches a Vickers collision glass caution. Tanner Clayson, we haven't really talked about him today, but he's up there in 4th place in the Ike Durbin car. Tammy Barnton in the 83 Lennard, catching Robert Nelson in the McSwain Tech 43. That car, of course, staffed entirely by McSwain Tech students as part of the Advanced Motorsports Engineering program. Those students are graded on how well that car performs, so they've got something to be smiling about watching Nelson lead this race. Dan Leckliter has slipped back to 3rd place in car number 10. Leckliter split this car with Lucas Flint last year, and by split I mean Flint only ran the road course races. Still, it counted as a dual championship effort as the leaders hit the pit lane on lap number 217. Tanner Clayson in 1 lap later. These should be the final stops for our race leaders. Tanner Clayson with a massive lead as pit stops cycle out. Very quick stop by the 79 car puts Clayson way out front, although he hasn't quite had the pace as some of the other leaders. Let's see if he can maintain that cushion as Dan Leckliter blows up, coming to 30 laps to go. Leckliter running very well to start off the season, but he is not going to finish this race. Nonetheless, he is guaranteed a top 15 finish with so few cars left. Tammy Barnton in the 83 Bitter Pills Lennard for HQS Racing has been closing in on Tanner Clayson as she drafts with the lap car of Wyatt Lloyd. Barnton has been very fast all week, winning the rookie shootout and gaining 25 bonus points and a guaranteed spot here in the 500. She qualified 3rd fastest in time trials after the B mains concluded, and now on lap 223 she goes right on by Tanner Clayson like she was the star of a bad racing movie. Clayson not putting up much resistance at all. Robert Nelson running in 3rd place. 3 cars left on the lead lap now, and Nelson has fallen back considerably after pit stops. Wasn't a very good stop by the 43 team, but he has Laura Sires to keep him company. Billy Gatton in the Bubba's Beer Inglesby is running in 10th place. Quite the surprise considering that Gatton claims that that car was put together in his garage by him and his friends on weekends. And here he is, running a few laps down, but going the distance here in the Smash Beer 500. I believe this is Gatton's 2nd start in the FARC Elite Series powered by Smash Beer. His first came all the way back in 2012 as a contestant of the Empire Rent-A-Car Drive the Dream sweepstakes. And that contest will be coming back at Talladega later this season. Tanner Clayson, running in 2nd place, has maintained his gap behind Tammy Barnton, at least for now, with coming to about 10 laps to go. Barnton has widened the gap considerably. Tanner Clayson not much of a threat at this point as we ride on board the 79 Gemini Software Inglesby. Tammy Barnton has now taken the white flag. 498 miles of racing so far. Can the 83 survive these final 2? Barnton won the FARC Lobo Truck Tour Championship in 2012, and she has already proven herself to be a contender here in the FARC Elite Series powered by Smash Beer. She is replacing her cousin Lucy in this 83 car at HQS Racing. That seems to have been the right decision. Barnton proving herself to be a contender already, winning the Apex Racing School Rookie Shootout last Sunday, and today Barnton takes the win in the Smash Beer 500 in her debut in a FARC Elite Series powered by Smash Beer points race. And in her debut, Barnton has already scored a huge points haul, 105 points, 100 for winning, plus 5 for leading the most laps, on top of the 25 that she won after taking the rookie shootout. Wyatt Lloyd, finishing 4th, gains the high climber bonus, 5 points for making up the most positions out of any driver. He started in 38th. Joseph Howard, defending series champion, comes home 6th, 2 laps down. Billy Gatton hangs on to 10th place, though he was 5 laps down. Jeremy Baker and Dale Underwood were the last cars to finish. They were both 20 laps down. Tammy Barnton holds a 49-point lead over Wyatt Lloyd. Tanner Clayson bumped down to 3rd. And the rest of the standings are unchanged because this is, of course, the first race of the season. And we have a bit of a story developing here at the Texas World Speedway. A few spectators seem to have gone missing. They were last seen at a promotional tent set up by the Lloyd Brotherhood, and after the race concluded, they very quickly packed up and left without much of a trace. So we will have to see what becomes of that. Hopefully we locate the missing spectators soon. In the meantime, the next race will be the Lone Pros 200 at the Columbia Speedway in South Carolina. You have been watching FARC Racing on OEN. Under penalty of stoning, this copyrighted webcast may not be reused in any form. FARC would like to thank all of our loyal fans for their continued support. Please take the time to buy some FARC merchandise as well as the products advertised on this webcast. Online streaming is not cheap. We will see you next time.